Hello, YouTuber Woobers. It's July 7th, and so I was over at our favorite candy store in town today, in this big city of Pittsfield, and I was at the candy store looking around, and the candy store, of course, is Harbor Freight, where you can get good stuff. Well, you can get crappy stuff cheap, and some stuff pretty good for a decent price. So I just thought this is what I wish I had the last 2 days when I was making my cable assembly for the wind turbine. This is marine grade heat shrink tubing. Now, it's also called adhesive heat shrink tubing because the inside is lined with an adhesive. So when you put it over your wires and you apply some heat, the heat shrink tubing, of course, shrinks like all of it does, but this has an adhesive that melts and then comes back out on and seals the wire. So it's a marine grade, keeps the moisture from going in. If you're making your own battery cables for your off-grid system, you want this stuff. Now this stuff only goes up to, well, this probably has the right size. But if you're going to be doing a lot of cables, you could probably order it from Radio Shack or some other places and just do a search for adhesive shrink tubing, um, heat shrink tubing, and you will find it. Radio Shack has it for a decent price in different colors, so you can do a red and a black or green, depending on whether you're doing a ground or a negative or a positive. And although I think that the negative is actually supposed to be white, according to code. But that is a whole other story. So, but this is not a bad deal. And then you get a lot of the smaller sizes. You can see here, if I get it right, I'm going to take them out of here and stuff them into my parts bin so that I can find this because I know I don't have one, but if I did have one, I wouldn't know where to find it. And, yep, yep. So today's been an interesting day because anybody who has paid any attention to the news today has found out that Hillary has got a clean bill of slate for basically doing what anybody else in the world would have, anybody else in our government system would have gotten treason and locked up and thrown the key away. And she is going to say she didn't intentionally funnel classified documents through her husband's server, that she is not being held accountable, which is, you know, ask that to anybody else who accidentally did the same thing, and they're behind bars. So the question now is, will the FBI go after her husband, who was the actual culprit in the whole brain scheme of channeling classified documents? And it would open up the question is, did he in fact leak out classified documents out that without her knowledge, who will soon be having another seat in the White House? Yep, it is a curious world. A friend of mine, YouTuber on here, has had one of these live shootings out in Tennessee, and he's kind of upset because he drives through that area every single day. The world is going crazy. Have some way of creating your own power. Have some way to grow your own food. Have some way to talk to your neighbors and barter. So you grow tomatoes and they grow tomatoes. They grow potatoes. You grow tomatoes. Someone grows this, someone grows that. You get a whole bunch of people in your neighborhood all growing something different, and you all pull together the resources. Someone builds a root cellar big enough to take one of those shipping containers and make it into a root cellar, and you get the idea. It's not hard to do. Do you live in a neighborhood that you don't trust the person next to you? Then maybe you should move. It'd be a really good idea to think about moving. It's safety in numbers, as they say. You just can't. Everyone can't just sitting out there on the curb with a gun in their hand. You're gonna have to have a way of preserving what you have. Put in a well. If you're dependent upon city water, you know, you can get sick really fast without the knowledge of city water. Put a well in. Have a way of running the well off of a solar. You just put a solar pump in the thing and run it all the time off of solar. It's solar with some batteries. You'll be able to pump your water at night, and you'll be able to have it run more during the day. Run into a cistern. There are things you can do. And if you don't feel like doing that, then don't do it. What can I say? What can I say?